What if someone stole your face, your voice, your entire online identity, and used it while you watched helplessly from the outside? This isn't just science fiction, it's Cam, a psychological thriller that explores what happens when your digital self takes on a life of its own. A chilling dive into obsession, control, and the terrifying freedom of the internet. Released in 2018, Cam follows Alice, a rising cam girl known as Lola, who wakes up one morning to find her account hijacked by a flawless copy of herself, a copy that's performing live, and no one believes her. But here's the twist. This film isn't based on wild fantasy, it's inspired by the real-life experiences of its writer, a former cam performer herself, making the horror behind the screen disturbingly real. In today's video, we'll unravel the eerie plot of Cam, break down the hidden symbolism, explore the psychology behind identity theft in the digital age, and reveal the lesser-known truth behind the movie's creation, including the creepy tech it predicted years before it became reality. So if you're fascinated by tech thrillers, uncomfortable truths, and the darker side of the internet, stick with us till the end, because the most shocking part? It's not the movie, it's how close it is to our world. Welcome to Movies Review, your go-to place for deep dives into films that leave you thinking long after the credits roll. If you enjoy mind-bending stories and hidden meanings behind modern cinema, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and let's begin the unraveling. At first glance, Alice seems like an ordinary young woman, smart, driven, and quietly ambitious. But by night, she transforms into Lola, a rising star on an adult webcam platform where performers compete for attention, tips, and top rankings. Lola isn't just a name, she's a carefully crafted persona, bold, flirty, and captivating. Alice has built her online presence with precision, knowing exactly what her audience wants. But make no mistake, this isn't a story about exploitation. Alice is in control. She sets her own rules, choreographs every performance, and is constantly pushing the edge to move up the leaderboard. She thrives in this virtual world, not for validation, but for power. For her, it's a game of strategy, where every show is a step toward the top. The glowing pink room, the chat boxes, the tipping noises, they're part of her stage. She's not ashamed of her work. In fact, she takes pride in being a cam girl who owns her image and her success. But this strong sense of control is exactly what makes what happens next so terrifying. Because when you've built your entire identity online and you lose it, not only do you lose your audience, you lose yourself. And that's where the nightmare begins. One day, Alice logs in like usual, only this time something's wrong. She's locked out of her account. Passwords don't work. Recovery emails go nowhere. At first he thinks it's a glitch, a bug in the system, but then she sees it. Lola is live. Her face, her voice, her body streaming, laughing, performing, just like always, except it's not her. A perfect digital version of Alice has taken over her channel. Her fans are watching, tipping, chatting, completely unaware that the real Lola is no longer behind the screen. Someone, or something, has replaced her. The horror doesn't come from gore or jump scares, it comes from the helplessness. The impersonator is flawless. Every move, every expression, every word mimics Alice perfectly. She's been erased from her own digital life. And worst of all, no one believes her. She tries to prove that the real Lola is being impersonated, but to the outside world, it just looks like a bitter performer trying to sabotage her own brand. The website support is useless, the law doesn't understand the tech, and the audience, they're just enjoying the show, unaware that they're watching a ghost. This isn't just identity theft, it's digital possession. The screen becomes a battleground between the real and the unreal. And Alice? She's not just losing her career, she's vanishing. With every failed attempt to reclaim her channel, Alice starts to spiral. What begins as confusion quickly turns to desperation. Customer support gives her the runaround. The police dismiss her claims as paranoid fantasy. Even her friends in the cam community start distancing themselves, some out of disbelief, others out of fear that they could be next. The digital clone isn't just copying her, it's evolving. This version of Lola starts performing things Alice would never do. It breaks her personal rules, it crosses boundaries, it becomes more popular, more seductive, and in a twisted way, more successful. The more the fake Lola thrives, the more Alice starts to unravel. She follows digital breadcrumbs, hacking into the platform's back-end, questioning old clients, even confronting fans, anyone who might help her make sense of it. But every door she opens leads to more questions. Is it an AI, a stalker, a glitch in reality? No answer makes sense, and that's where the terror sharpens. Because the deeper Alice dives into the mystery, the blurrier the line between her real self and the virtual one becomes. She starts questioning what's real. Her reflection seems unfamiliar. She practices smiles in the mirror, unsure which one is hers anymore. She's being erased not just from the internet, but from her own mind. In this war between real and virtual, the scariest part isn't the imposter, it's the silence, the feeling that no one is coming to save you, because the world has already decided you're not real anymore. Beneath its eerie storyline, Cam is layered with powerful, thought-provoking themes. The most obvious: digital identity. In a world where online presence is often valued more than the real person behind it, Cam shows what happens when that digital version breaks away from its creator. For Alice, Lola wasn't just a character, it was her brand, her business, her power. So when that identity gets hijacked, she doesn't just lose her livelihood, she loses her sense of self. Another theme that runs deep is control versus performance. Alice always believed she controlled the show, deciding what to reveal, what to hide, and where to draw the line. But her clone crosses those boundaries freely. It performs without shame or consequence, pushing further than Alice ever dared. And it raises a chilling question: is the audience more drawn to authenticity or fantasy? Cam also offers a rare, honest look into the world of sex work, especially the digital kind. Instead of portraying Alice as a victim or stereotype, the film treats her profession with respect. It shows the strategic planning, the emotional labor, and the careful self-marketing involved in being a cam model. This lens isn't common in mainstream films, making Cam both daring and necessary. And then, of course, there's the technology angle. The fear of being replaced by AI or deepfakes, the helplessness of digital platforms, and the terrifying silence of an internet that moves too fast for laws to catch up. Cam doesn't just reflect modern anxieties, it predicts them. None of Cam's unsettling power would work without the mesmerizing performance of Madeline Brewer. She plays Alice and her digital clone with such subtle complexity that viewers are often left questioning who's real and who's not. Her ability to shift between vulnerability and confidence, confusion and rage, is what grounds the film in emotional truth. She doesn't just act scared, she acts violated. Her digital identity has been stolen, twisted, and used against her. And as Alice slowly unravels, we feel every ounce of her panic and pain. Visually, Cam is both stunning and disturbing. The use of neon lighting, mirror imagery, and saturated colors gives the film a dreamlike, almost synthetic look. The camera work is tight, often trapping Alice in frames, making the viewer feel just as confined and watched as she does. The color pink, often associated with femininity, is turned into something eerie and unnatural. Even the webcam layout, chat boxes, and fake interface feel authentic, pulling the viewer deeper into Alice's surreal reality. What's even more unsettling is how normal everything looks. There are no haunted houses or dark forests here, just glowing screens, familiar interfaces, and rooms designed for digital fantasy. That's what makes it feel so close to home. When Cam was released, it didn't just catch viewers off guard, it impressed critics across the board. It holds a high rating on review platforms, and for good reason. Many praised it for being a rare kind of horror, one that's psychological, intelligent, and terrifying, without relying on cliches or gore. Critics highlighted its original premise, calling it a modern twist on identity horror. The film was applauded for respecting its subject matter, especially the portrayal of cam work. It didn't shame its characters, it empowered them. But it wasn't without critique. Some viewers felt the ending was too ambiguous, craving a more direct explanation. Others wanted more information about the technology behind the clone. Yet, most agreed that the vagueness was intentional, mirroring how little control we often have over the digital forces that shape our lives. The fact that Cam was written by someone who lived that reality gave it a unique authenticity, and that's exactly what set it apart from other techno thrillers. Cam is not your typical horror film. It doesn't scare with monsters, ghosts, or killers. Instead, it taps into something far more real and far more disturbing. The fear of being replaced, of not being believed, of losing your voice in a world that listens only to what it wants. It's a film that sticks with you, because deep down, we all live with digital versions of ourselves, on social media, in profile pictures, in online searches. And if those versions ever slipped out of our control, what would we become? Cam is a wake-up call. It's thrilling, relevant, and uncomfortably close to the world we live in today. Whether you're a fan of psychological thrillers or just someone who wants to understand the eerie line between real life and the digital self, this film is worth watching. Now, we turn the question over to you. If your digital identity took on a life of its own, would anyone notice the difference? Or would the clone be even more popular? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. What did you think of Cam? Did it leave you with questions or just a chill down your spine? If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into twisted, thought-provoking movies, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Movies Review, and turn on the bell so you never miss our next psychological rabbit hole. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay real.